Let's get it.
What up, man? Been slacking on the videos. Sorry, man. Been busy as hell. A lot of shit going on. Finally, we're starting to get some good weather. We still got a little bit of snow. It's 35 degrees, but it's workable. So we've been rocking out some jobs, getting the season going, and getting all of our marketing material and everything moving for the spring, getting everything ready to go and ready to launch. So I made a couple changes this year as far as my marketing material and how I am, getting all the marketing going this year. Kind of upped the budget a little bit in some areas, and then I took it away a little bit in another area. So a lot of people ask me about SEO and marketing and getting your business to the top of Google and reviews and what actually generates most of your business, most of your leads, but most of your high-paying converting leads. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to in this video. Quick update, I sold my house. Well, my house is up for sale. It's under contract. We moved to a new house, so I've been doing a lot of stuff with that. My brother, I helped him build a welding and fabrication business for automotive and aerospace. So we recently got a shop a few months ago, and now that's really getting moving. So I'm trying to split my time between, it's called Dynasty Fabrication, between Dynasty and Paramount. So I've been real busy getting all this stuff going, and then quoting a lot of jobs. We've been quoting about 8 jobs a day. So it's tiring because you're so used to, you get in that winter mood where it's a little bit slower, and then all of a sudden it's full blast. So it takes a lot out of you. By the end of the day, you're just smoked, and then you're rushing from one spot to another. So you got to get back in gear and get that going. But it's a good thing. We got a lot of work on the books. Probably got 45 roofs on the books right now. So being mid-March, it's not bad. Not as good as last year, but we're moving. Last year by now we probably did $500,000 in business already, and this year we're just getting moving. So we've done jobs here and there, but not near what we did last year. So, but you got to do what you got to do, man. Keep going. You never know what the weather's going to bring in Michigan. So, and what I hear is in other areas where it's warmer all the time, I always say, like, that's awesome in LA and Florida where you guys are just rocking roofs all year, but the prices aren't as high, and it's not as competitive as it is here in Michigan. Since we have a limited time in a bad winter, the roofs go bad faster, and I guess the prices are a little bit more competitive as far as a little bit higher profits and margins. So I guess you take what you can get. You either do less work, make more money, or you work more and make less money, and in the end it might all equal out to be the same. So I've really taken a different approach this year as far as I've upped my prices from last year, and I have a little bit different sales edge as what I did last year. I kind of moved my material over a little bit to compensate for less work and volume, but more profit and margin. So I'm really focusing on that aspect right now and trying to really get that nailed down. Also, Certainty came out with a new product called Northridge, which I'm going to cover in a future video, but I'd rather do it in my office when I have all the samples and everything's next to me and I can really go through it. It's an SBS shingle. Now, I don't know as far, we just got introduced to it, what was it, last year or 2 years ago? We just got introduced to the Northgate, and it kind of got slow traction, but now it seems to be really moving, and I'm implementing that into my presentation. So I wanted to cover that a little bit too. But let's move on to the marketing. So my typical marketing strategy is pretty simple compared to other companies of my size. I don't have a CRM. I don't do a lot of advertising in like papers and things of that nature. I have really 3 components. I have internet, which is Google. I have Angie's List, and then I have referral, my store, shirts, trucks, vans, trailers, things of that nature. That's really the heart of my marketing. I do a little bit with churches in the Romeo area. I do a little bit with the schools, but it's all under small bucks. But this year I've added on to my program Google AdWords. So I don't know if you're familiar with Google AdWords, but if you go on your phone, you search Google and you search for tile company, the first 3 companies that come up on the bottom left side of their ABC tile, it says ad. So the ad means it's Google AdWords. They're paying for that space. When they pay for that space, they're actually paying for that keyword. So that keyword goes into a bidding system. So you put in tile company. So companies are bidding on that tile company and how much that ad is worth. So say that ad's worth $15 a click. Every time that ad gets clicked, that's $15. So I'm really just learning this, so I'm trying to give you as much information as I can about it. So what I did is I am using AdWords into my campaign. So instead of spending, I think it was like $1,400 a month with my SEO company, we've upped it to $3,200 a month, and we've upped it to accommodate for these AdWords. So we've selected strategic AdWords and phrases or words to be bid on and go to the top of the list so that we can reach a farther spread out. Because when you use Google and you have your business or even your house, you can get a Google balloon over your business. So it says Paramount Building is a balloon over my store. So anybody in Romeo, Washington, Rochester, the surrounding areas, you type in roofing company, roofing, siding company, siding contractors, whatever it is. My company is going to automatically come up because of two reasons: organic SEO, which your SEO company will do for you, and your Google balloon because of location. Google knows that you're looking for a local company, so it's going to pop up the most relative companies to your area first. But now if you go outside 15 miles away from your location, my physical location in Romeo, then I'm not on the map anymore. So my SEO company has to compete with organic SEO with everybody in that area who Google's ranking higher because it's a local company and it's closer to them. So it's much more harder to gain traction in places that are farther away from your business than it is when your business is your balloon is right over the city that they're Googling. So the way to manipulate that per se is to add AdWords. So I specifically, just for an example, I am competing in a bidding phrase called roofing companies Bloomfield. So when somebody in Bloomfield Hills, which is one of the richer areas, and most of my work besides Romeo comes out of Bloomfield and surrounding areas, people put in roofing company Bloomfield. Well, instead of being in the balloon area, which is the map, or below that, which is the SEO or the organic section, I'll be above them, which is the top 3, which is a paid for ad. So the ad's like $11.50, give or take. Every month it changes. You got to rebid on the word. I'll be in the top 3 and it will rotate me. So every time somebody clicks that, it's going to charge my account $15 up to the $3,200. So I have a $3,200 cap. So once people have clicked all the words that I'm competing in enough times to get to the $3,200, then it takes me off till the rest of the month. So that's kind of how you do it. So companies like Home Depot and Lowe's, you just put in washing machine, and then above washing machine it will say Home Depot ad. They're competing for that space, so they're probably spending $150,000 to $250,000 a month in AdWords to be at the top of that list, so that you can find washing machine Home Depot. But the reason the Home Depot is there is they're competing for that word washing machine. So when we were doing the analysis to see what keywords best fit my company, we found out that local companies were competing for the word Paramount Building Inc., Paramount Roofing, and stuff with my name in it. So yeah, I thought it was crazy, right? So people are competing to be top 3 when people are specifically searching for my company. So it's like, what a sales edge. At first I was kind of pissed. I was like, damn, they're trying to like steal customers that are coming to me because of the reviews and whatever it may be, or a referral. They're typing in Google Paramount Building Inc., and then 3 companies would go right below me because they're competing for that word in my space. So it's kind of a competitive edge, or I don't know what it is, but I was like, damn, like they're trying to steal my customers. But I guess that's just how it goes. It's the world of business. It's dog eat dog. I get it. So when I seen that, I was like, okay, so we have to make strategic areas and strategic words so that we can make sure that we're popping up, and it will increase my business. Because recently Angie's List was acquired by Home Advisor, so Angie's List is switching a lot of their techniques. There's something called the big deal. The big deal is what my bread and butter is and was, and now it's been switched. So they don't have exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to do an updated video once I figure out exactly how this is going to go. But the big deal was, for instance, we did a $99 roof tune-up with a $150 repair credit. So once a month, they would email blast my entire service area, which is 92,000 Angie's List members would get an email directly to their email saying, hey, $99 roof maintenance tune-up, Paramount Building Inc. They click it, they buy it. Angie's List gets the $99. I don't get anything. I go out to the job, and sometimes it's just, the $99 roof maintenance is like a blown off shingle, caulking low nails, caulking counter flashing, small stuff that you can do with a hammer and a caulk gun, nothing else. So I'd go out there, I'd do the roof maintenance, I'd take pictures of everything wrong with their roof, and most of the time, 4 out of 5 would convert to at least a repair, if not a full replacement. Or you'll get those ones where it's like, listen, you got 3 years left on your roof, and then 3 years they'd call me. So it was my bread and butter. I specifically hired a guy and got most of his main job was to deal with these Angie's List deals, and we'd always convert on those. So now that they don't email blast the big deals anymore, it's just a different structure. So I was like, man, that's going to take a lot of my business. So I had to find something else to supplement the Angie's List deals. So AdWords is what we came up with, and so since we came up with that, my office manager at the office, whenever she gets a call, she always asks where they got our name. So we've made this Excel spreadsheet where it says Angie's List, Google, because whenever you go to the ad, it takes you to a separate landing page and a separate phone number, but it still calls my number, but they're calling a separate phone number so my SEO company can monitor it. So I can see what's converting from the Google AdWords. I know what's coming from referrals, what's coming from Angie's List. So what I'm looking for is an overall view of where is all my business coming from. So at this point in the year, or at this point this year, as far as advertising campaign, we're spending $3,200 on Google AdWords. So if you look at the $3,200 number, at first it seems like, wow, $3,200 a month is a lot. But really, it's only one roof. You should be able to profit at least $3,200 on one roof. So if you only sell 2 out of your entire month of Google AdWords, then you should still be profiting at least $3,200 a month, because we should make that off one job. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm spending $3,200 on AdWords and SEO, $2,800 a month on Angie's List, and then I have my trucks, trailers, vans, as well as my storefront and things of that nature. So we'll probably spend, $60,000 this year as far as advertising, but as long as we're converting those numbers and they're doubling and tripling, then it shouldn't be a problem to add something like that to your platform. So as far as Angie's List goes, I know I've discussed it before. It's really hard to climb that ladder to be where we're at. It's free to look at Angie's List reviews and look at Angie's List members. So if you type in roofing Romeo, Michigan, when the Angie's List balloon pops up when you go to angieslist.com, it will tell you, it will show you the top 13. So the 13 companies that are advertising in your location, it will show them. So if you put in Romeo Michigan roofing, then there'll be 13 companies. My company has like 400 reviews. Everybody else, the nearest one to me is like 110. So it's really easy for me to convert on Angie's List because I've worked it so long and so hard that I don't know if you'll be able to, the way the new structure is, I don't know if you'll be able to convert reviews and do as much work with them as you used to. Now, their platform's still changing. They haven't came out with how it actually is going to work for the future, but I'm just saying from the last few months, it doesn't seem like it's going to work as well as it used to. But that's still, there's time. We'll see what happens there. But all the reviews, gather reviews when you're starting, get the reviews, even if it's on Google, it's on Facebook, it's on, other platforms like that. I don't use Home Advisor. I don't like Yelp at all. I don't like the way they structure anything. They'll be what do they call it? I have 11 reviews on Yelp and not one shows because they're uncertified reviews or something like that. It's because the user doesn't use Yelp enough for them to show it, which penalizes the customer, the customer being me, because I'm the one paying them for advertising. So I don't deal with Yelp at all. But what works for you guys? What are you adding to your advertising campaign to make sure that all this stuff converts? And are you monitoring it? Because that's my number one thing. I want to know what percentage of my business is referrals, what's my storefront, what's my trucks, trailers, what is my Google AdWords, what's coming from Angie's List. And right now it seems like everything's pretty much in tune. Now, Google AdWords, I only started at March 1st, so it's only the 15th. It's only 15 days in. We're seeing that it's converting. We're getting a lot of clicks from it, which we should, because the customers are typing in specific phrases that match exactly what my company's model is. So they should be convertible. So we shouldn't get much, we shouldn't lose any money on it for sure. I know it seems like a lot of money again, but in the end, you should all, it should work for you. So let me know, man. Let me know what works for you. If there's something I'm not doing, or if you have any suggestions for me or questions. Now, I just started with Google AdWords, so I'm not an expert in it and how it works, but I think it should be good. I think it will be really well. A lot of the bigger companies use it. It is expensive, but as long as you're converting on what you're spending, then it should be good. Now, up until this year, we've always sent out flyers. Every spring, I'd send out flyers to the neighboring cities, Romeo and all the neighboring cities, especially in the Romeo School District, but all the neighboring cities. And I'd usually spend $17,000 on these postcards. So that would include the design, the print of the postcard, and then the postage for sending these out. And we'd send out about $62,000. And we've always had really good return on those. Last year I think we calculated $88,000 in profit off of the $17,000 that we spent for the postcard, which is pretty good conversion. But not only to take into consideration the $88,000 that we made, but what about the referrals that came from the $88,000, the customers that spent the $160,000 or whatever it was to create the $88,000. So you always want to think of, even when you're doing simple jobs. Now, I'm never saying like go and take a discount, but a lot of times if there's a big subdivision and it was built in like 92, 96, and I know all the roofs are coming up and only one or two have been done, and I get the opportunity to bid the first house in the block or the second house in the block where everybody's got to drive in and out, you better believe that I'm going to give them a little bit of a discount just to put my sign there, do my work, and then I can go around and knock on the doors and kick up other business. Kick up other business in that same subdivision. There's a few subdivisions I do the entire sub. There's one we're doing this week in Romeo. It's a individualized, I guess you'd call it a detached condo association. I did one roof there, and then I did a bunch of little maintenance for them, like replacing trim on garage doors, caulking gutters, small stuff. But I did it on every unit, and then we had a hailstorm come through last July, and 9 of them just got approved for hail damage. So it's like a $150,000 job with insurance work, which is 50% profit margin on that work. So we're going to do those all this week. So you never want to I'm not big into giving discounts, and I'm not big into negotiating and matching prices. I know what I'm worth and I know what I'm capable of. And usually before I show up, the customer knows what I'm capable of and what I'm worth. But if it's the first job in the sub, or for a condo association, or even a landlord that owns multiple properties, or a property management company, you always want to make sure that you price it to make money, but at the same time you price it for the future business. Because just like the postcard, for instance, we made $88,000 off the postcard, but what did we make off the conversion of the referral basis from the postcard kept, or the postcard created? You know what I'm saying? So you always want to make sure that you're always looking ahead for future business. You never know who somebody knows. Somebody has a leak on a pipe collar. You're on the roof already. Just caulk the damn pipe collar. Tell them to write you a review. Don't charge them, and then they'll call you back when somebody else needs something, or when they need a roof. If their pipe collars are bad, that their roof's going to be bad within 5 years. You don't have to charge $150 or $200 every time you get up on somebody's roof. You always want to be looking ahead to the next the next revenue generating lead, which could be a neighbor, could be somebody in the back of the sub, could be a friend, family, or your customer in the future. So you always want to make sure that you have all your marketing material and your model ready for the year. Always add new things, see what else is out there. That way you can gauge everything that you're doing, so you can find out what works and what doesn't work. Just like I found out Home Advisor didn't work for me. But it may work for you. It may work great for you in your market. I don't know. But the only way to know is to know your numbers and know your conversion rates and know your cost of customer acquisition and be able to break all that stuff down. It takes some time and it takes some discipline, but in the end, it's worth it. If you're paying $10,000 a month to a platform and you're profiting $20,000, $10,000 is not that much when you're getting a 60% return. So just things to think about, things about my advertising campaign. But I plan to make a shitload of videos this year. Now that the season's blasting off, I'm in full gear, man, ready to rock and roll. So holla at me, man. Let me know what you got. Definitely let me know if you have a advertising platform that works for you that I didn't mention, or if you have questions for me. But we're ready to rock and roll, man. We're ready to get out there, hustle, get it done. As far as the sales stuff goes, I know a lot of people ask me to break down the sales process from beginning to end, from perspective, qualifying leads, the whole presentation. I'm going to make a whole course about that. I don't know when it will come out, probably next winter. I'll probably keep working on it and launch it, but it's going to be sweet. There's a lot of cool things that I do that just help out and gets the price point where I want them. But first, before you even can consider selling that way, you have to build your reputation, your reviews, your credentials, your certifications, your business itself. And these are ways to do it: marketing, reviews, referrals, things of all that nature. So, all right, boys, girls, stay up, get it, hustle, make money. It's going to be a great year, 2018. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to killing it this year in many different ways. So you guys stay up and keep busy out there. Be safe.